Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 8 of Yokeley, our vanilla Cities Skylines 2 build. We're having a wonderful day. We had a live stream over the weekend just gone where we spent 4 hours piecing together tons of green space, kind of storm drain, event parks, war memorials, eateries near some high schools. A really fun stream, so there's 4 hours of non-stop vanilla detailing on the VOD if you want to check that out. Either way, welcome back to, I'm sure, what will be a very fun and special episode where we're going to finally introduce some internal public transport to the build, which should be quite a lot of fun, we hope. We hope anyway. So it's a little weird for CS2. So we would never have reached 43,000 people in CS1 without having ever introduced any form of internal public transport, which is really kind of getting used to CS2's expansion simulation, you know. Plays very differently to CS1, I find. Either way, today we'll install a number of tram and bus hubs across the city, which sounds like it's going to be a tremendous amount of fun, doesn't it? So first of all, there's a little spot here. We also built a cute little baseball park on our live stream as well, which we mentioned at the start of the video. But I think this little unoccupied corner right by the highway interchange is going to be the perfect place for the tram depot, which I actually need to unlock via the milestones, of course, which is there. So trams, of course, my absolute favourite. And let's have this. This can just be. I think I actually do want it parallel with the arterial road coming off the highway there. For some reason, you know, when you just can see something sitting and fitting, I just know exactly where I want this. Let's leave 2 tiles, maybe 3 actually, for some trees. So lovely asset. I really love the tram stuff in CS2. Big chunky depots. Double tram tracks we can have a lot of fun with today as well. Let's see, wonder if we can do something maybe a bit more interesting here. Can we make that a roundabout? Will you still be happy with me? You will. And it looks like we might just be able to sort of drag this down as well. Kind of extend the yard down and up there, and perhaps even just up to the edge of the roundabout as well. Something maybe a bit different, isn't it? Almost sort of expands the front of it there. Gives us a more discrete connection. So in terms of where the tram is going to go, let's have a chat about that. So the depot will be here, but they will move all across the city. Ignore the air pollution, by the way. The Sims do not care. You'll see if I check their happiness, they just... It's not on their agenda whatsoever. They don't care about the air pollution. So, yeah, ignore them. It just blows across some industry over here, but they're absolutely fine. So let's begin to place our first tram lines. So we're going to have some one-way tram tracks on the couplet. I'm thinking our first hub is going to be right here. So let's begin to allow this to form up. One-way tram lines will go down the couplet system here. And I'm going to bring it across. This will then go into the town centre where we built up in Benedict over the last few episodes. So I'm going to head back down to the main couplet again, I think. And then it'll rejoin over here. So let's make sure we get that side as well. And then as it rejoins here, we then move back to the double tracks, which will bring us down to 1 lane with the divided road there. I definitely don't want that happening. So let's go to... I think we'll do some asymmetry here. And then let's grab the tram upgrades like that. So that's pretty much perfect there. And that's going to give us a really cool junction here as well with the trams, right? They'll never use that turnaround because they are going to come into here. Into what is going to be our first transit hub of the episode. So this is just some generic low density office. I'm not massively precious about this. This can go. And let's bring our tram line in. So I think we're going to have 2 trams leaving from here. So if our first tram is taking this trajectory here, it's kind of doing like an L shape through Benedict, isn't it, as it comes back down and completes that loop. The second one I would also probably like to send down the couplet and then off into Shelton and Sunny Stones around here. And have the second tram loop serving this low density area with all this residential on the trams, and then we can work buses in around the smaller suburban streets around that, right? So I want room for 2, and again, possibly in the future, maybe even more trams will come and stop here. But for right now, we'll just go with 2. We'll have a one-way tram track, and we'll do that, I think. I don't want the road guidelines here, so I'm going to come off the grid and just snap to the angle of this first line. That way I'll know they're perfectly in line with each other. And then this can come from here, and then can I also get you to do that? Can do that one. We are getting perhaps a few too many pedestrian crossings now though, so let's remove just a few of those. Although I have just realised we only need the one way this side, don't we, if we're coming in still with one directionality here, so that's okay. And then I guess we'll have to lose some slight rock detailing, but that's okay. Let's just see if we can form up some kind of more cool junctions in here, as this TS Road tools continue to prove an awful lot of fun, don't they? We're happy with that. I don't think we're too stretched there, are we? Really cool. Really like this junction where it splits off into the couplet. Nice angles around here, isn't there? And then with my trams, I like to do them a little bit less frequent than buses, so maybe every 3 or 4 blocks. We'll come down here, that'll be sort of 1, 2, let's have the next one here. Next one in the middle near the path here. And as it comes through, let's just stop it in amongst all this residential. With the lower density stuff we've got on the fringes of town, and we'll certainly send buses out that way. And then with this spot, where do we want to stop in and around the town centre? I think definitely near the main crossroads, so they can cross over here or join the park if that's where they're going to go. So I'm going to say here. And then I think I'd like it to stop it again at the top, just for symmetrical purposes, so that it won't be symmetrical anyway, will it? No, it's fine. We'll keep it adjacent then. Although I am blocking the hospital here, which is probably not a good idea. So we'll just move it the block up, that's okay. And then that can just mimic on its way all the way back through here. Super. So let's get that flowing. Oh no, actually, no, we need to actually connect it to the depot first, don't we? So in terms of where you're going to go, I do need to redraw this bridge, you know. You're also going to have to not be highway road anymore now, aren't you? Actually, rather than joining it with the road, bring you over the water maybe. This is a design we want to possibly explore. It'd be very unique to see the tram come alongside the bridge like that. And then if it doesn't want to be a nightmare for me, and everything goes well, this will seamlessly go back into the junction. Which it does for the most part. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. We can probably work this in. Let me play with this for a hot second. That's slightly better. I do like the idea, but I think even hooking it back in this side, it's just going to get a little bit too convoluted, probably, isn't it? With all the directions coming into it there. That's how it'd look. I think I'm definitely trying to over-engineer that, aren't I? I'm just going to remove that. Instead, we will... I don't think I can upgrade this, can I? I need to move the water tower, which is a bit annoying. Did like it there, but it's okay. Will you go next door? Yeah, you will. We'll destroy someone's single family memories, that's fine though. And then I guess we'll do... I'm going to go large 5-lane asymmetric here. Very possibly. You won't let me change the direction of the symmetry because you're in the water, for real? Okay. Now it's in the water and won't do anything. Right, will you take the tram upgrade at least? You will, yes, okay, right. That's fine. We'll just accept that then, CS2 being famously fussy as always, right? And then let's just feed this down the arterial now, all the way to the tram depot. And great success. Let's get them flowing now as a result of that. Super. And as an immediate administration point for the public transport in the city, we will immediately name that tram line to be the Benedict L loop, which I will be able to identify. And let's go for green, red, maybe. Yeah, a bright red tram, why not? Super. So with our first tram flowing, let's have a look where we can send the second one now. So we've got the infrastructure down the couplet. Both the trams will follow this. Obviously the one that comes to Shelton will now continue. down this way with the appropriate upgrades. So in terms of where I want the stops here, certainly plenty of service to the big box mall we've got around here. And all the big unique buildings from leisure venues. And then definitely stop again in the middle of the mall. And then stops by the houses here. In terms of how we're going to turn this around, Shelton won't really grow much bigger than this. So I reckon we turn it around via the school, and then it can loop back through then and head up all the way up through there, right? I think so. We got some death care issue as well. No, you're full. Yes, we have too much processing speed. Do we have processing speed upgrades? Cold storage upgrade, will that help us? What was this one? More hearses. I'm sure that'll help. Let's have that right next door if it'll fit. Come on, TS2. Okay, we'll stick the hearse upgrade there then. That should hopefully increase. It looks like it might be time for another crematorium though. We'll see if we can place that today. Back to my point before we discover the Mountain of Dead, is we will have it come around here then. It can stop around the edge of the school in a little one-way loop, and that can head back. And of course we can bring that down and expand it down the arterial down there at some point in the future, if that's what we want to do. Good. And let's get this next one flowing as well. Now we have all those stops in, let's introduce our second tram line. Let's also add some new stops for this as well around the other ones. And now we have the facility to install our second tram line. And again, we will name this. This is Benedict train station to Shelton. Fantastic. And let's make this a nice white. Let's go for a bit of a mirror's edge vibe, right? The white and the red next to each other. I'm already extremely busy, which is very nice to see. Very cool. Love this. This should get extremely busy today, actually, with all these trains here as well. Which is still got so many people walking around over here too. It's so nice to see some scurry in CS2, you know? The game massively lacked this when it first came out. Felt like there was no one around, but it's good to see it now. And with our pathway, will you come across, or are you going to give me grief? You are going to give me grief, but I think what we will do instead is actually use some bridge stuff here to create a bit of a transit hub. Fun and games. 7.5. No, we can get across there actually. Okay. Let's do that then. I think we'll have that go something like that. Might even bring this into the middle actually. That's probably about orientation for that, isn't it? Give us a nice little bit of height in the transport hub too. Let's go straight across there. And now let's grab our nodes and come straight back down to earth with slope too steep, but you will connect in at some point. Let's do a little sort of staggered design here, shall we? Almost like it's basically a disabled ramp almost, right? Next to the stairs next door. One of my greatest hopes for CS is one day that gradients will automatically snap to stairs at some point. I do like that there, but I think it's heading to the wrong direction, isn't it? So why don't we do that there and then come underneath? There we go. Become off all our snappings. I can get that to work like that. And then let's come back to geometry, and can I create that connection? Yes, we can. We'll have some fun and games with how people will navigate the transport hub here too, and we'll make it not symmetrical either side as well. Let's have that one come down, and you could also go straight down, pretty much linking up with that pedestrian crossing there, which is perfect. And then let's bring some surface into this too. So I think concrete surface 1 is going to be wonderful, isn't it? Have this running all the way up, not everywhere though, just up to the bridge, I think. And that's down like that. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one all the way down, actually, in hindsight. With another little supporting pathway, possibly here, if we can finagle it in. There will be a sweet spot somewhere. There it is. Fantastic. And then between the two roads as well. Cool. Let's bring in some fancier bushes here as well. Definitely outside the train station here, landscape. Wouldn't even mind palms. We do have palms on this building nearby, and I think there's something just very nice about palms in a transport hub, isn't there? Not very tropical here, but neither CS2 to be honest. It's pretty lots of birch, lots of big trees around here. And some fancier landscaping with our cultivated bush. You know, you could always use some fence props for this as well if you wanted to. You don't have to go with the bush lining. We found on the live stream actually that we got a lot of use out of some of the UK fences, which are a treat for some of the designs we did over the weekend. I'll include some of those builds in today's cinematics as well if you missed them. Cool. So let's dive further into this. There's an asset I've been wanting to use as part of a transport hub for a long time from the Japanese pack, which is these carport blast shelters. Where's your collision there? It's quite sensitive. We don't want to do line tool though. Shelters. There is a relatively annoying collision radius there. So I can't get it right over the stand, but it's okay. I can certainly set this back a little bit, right? Let's have 3 of them here and find ourselves a decent bench, perhaps. Maybe something from the park tab. Garden bench. Oh, come on. Come on, CS2. You can let me get under there, can't you? Okay, maybe not then. That is slightly annoying. I think in that case then, for what I'm actually trying to achieve here, I will use those shelters somewhere in today's episode, but for the instance I want to happen, I actually think these covered sports benches might make better tram waiting stops, if you like. Very loud around here. Okay, I love the contrast of the red and white trams against the white concrete though, isn't that fun? That's so nice. Fantastic. It's already so busy, isn't it? Look at that, goodness me. Goodness me, everyone. It's possibly even too busy. Actually. Maybe even too busy. They're all going to the train station, aren't they? Look at that. Look at that flood of people, everyone. The arse end of the tram does stick onto the road a bit though, doesn't it? But it's worth it for that, isn't it? Oh my word. Hello, people. That is great. Possibly the busiest CS2 transport hub we've made yet. It certainly looks busier than Edinburgh's, but Edinburgh doesn't move this fast anymore, does it? So, yeah, maybe I actually think the angle of the tram road here is probably hurting it a bit more. But it's fine. We'll leave it to flow over a little bit of time, and hopefully it will be okay. Cool, so that's our trams installed, and they will run continually through the arterial roads. We'll also extend them into the downtown and through this space once that exists. Next up, I want to bring in some bus action. So let's find out what's happening. Holy crap, what happened out here? Massive crash and fire on the edge of the city, holy crap. Oh well. Very small fire. Big crash though, goodness gracious. People on their roofs, their sides. God, bad one that, isn't it? Who me? I love the views back to Yokeley as well down the valley here. I think once this valley is filled with build, it should give us a really cool sprawl up to the centre of where we've been working, right? I'm really enjoying this project at the minute, everyone. Hope you all are as well. So buses are next, and buses will serve a much different purpose to what the trams are doing for us. So with the buses, let's place down our bus depot again. I'm inclined to have this in and around the industrial areas. Where exactly though is another question. Are you pollutive at all? Little bit of air pollution. Do you know what? I might be happy with the doubling up right up next to the highway here again where we put the tram depot. Imagine we'll probably stick the road maintenance depot next to this as well at some point when I decide we need it. That can just come down as well. There's no need for the traffic lights here either. Main road takes priority through this way. And with this potentially being busy, if there's going to be vehicles coming up and down this now too, let's move to some asymmetrical roads through there. Just on this major junction. Why it's so close to an interchange. Wonderful. So with the buses, these guys are going to take a much more suburban route than what the trams are doing. So obviously you can see, trams are pretty much tracing our main arterial routes through the town up to the major transport hub, which is now the train station, obviously bringing intercity connections in. It will one day also go to other towns, but they don't exist yet. But the buses I want to follow much more through these side streets, through the low-density suburbia, meeting up with the tram stops, and also at a bus hub in the town centre over here too, serving places like the university. So we did get some bus assets in the packs, didn't we? We got this one here, which is a Chungus, and quite big, a little bit overbearing for what I want here, actually. There's the modded architecture bus station, which again has quite a lot. 5 bus platforms. I think I would want 3, so I think the small bus station is going to be nice and discreet for me. And it does sit and fit bang in the town centre. Although I'm not sure about how I feel about having it on an arterial road though. I think we're going to have it here. We're just going to replace a commercial unit. And this way we can have the buses also flow in a little one-way system as they come in and out of this depot. It's certainly 100%. I can immediately see where I want this to extend onto that riverside pathway there. So make a great bit of detailing for us. So let's grab our surfaces and just want to pull that up so it runs something like that. We can fill that with props and extra waiting space. I'd also love to make it walkable as well. So very, very sorry, commercial building, but you are going to have to go, I'm afraid. And then I can really kind of box in that work we've just done there. Extend all this into this big pathway, and that should just help blend that asset in a little bit more, right? So this can be a centre bus hub for Benedict. It has 3 bus platforms, so let's just distribute 3 simple bus lines out from this one, okay? So I'm going to run parallel with what the, perpendicular to what these tram lines are doing, right? So I'm going to come straight across here. We'll serve the university town, we'll swing down into here and get this all done. So let's place our stops first of all. So I'm going to stop a little bit more frequently than what I did with the trams, every maybe 2 or 3 blocks rather than 4 or 5 with these. The bus line coming into the transit hub, I think I'd like to do that upgrade just on the road around. So we'll just have it here. Although I'm not going to have the bus lanes everywhere, because I'm not a huge lover of them, to be honest. Because they don't, see how they don't connect properly across all junctions. Sometimes they don't work nicely. So we won't have them there. Just have them there to mark where the bus stops here. Obviously we'll also mark that with a bus stop as well. Where do these people drive into the car park here? I don't really want to block it. Maybe we put it on the corner then in that instance. It could be better here actually. Maybe we could do something fun with the roads there, right? That makes it look really interesting, doesn't it? I will loop it around here and send it mirrored back on itself, where I do also want to come into Suburbia and the river, which we are going to upgrade in a couple of weeks. Please ignore that current riverfront. And that's 1 bus in. Let's get that moving. Otherwise, let's keep on top of our naming convention. My buses, that'll be bus line 1. I'm just going to abbreviate that to Benedict Town Centre to Cornegg Uni. Fantastic. And let's make that a nice blue bus, I think. A little bit lighter though. A bit more purple, I suppose that, isn't it? But that's okay. Okay, cool. So that's 1 line in. So that's running just through here, catching all these people. And the next one I want to run is to kind of catch, so if we were to pull up open our transit line menu again. Let's do this one. So all this space that the trams aren't catching is really where I want the buses running. So now we've got one running to catch the university, the transit hub. We're sort of catching this area. Let's allow our second bus hub to kind of just run through all these streets, stopping in and around these other tram hubs so they can interchange between the lines. And then around other points of interest, parks and all that stuff. So I think I'll probably run this as a mirrored system, so there's buses stopping both sides of the road, kind of like it does a little bit here for a stretch. So to set this up, let's come down here. There's a school over this side. Cool. So I'm pretty happy with that positioning there within all those spaces. Let's now get this one running too. So that's Benedict Town Centre into the suburbs, Route A. And then did I miss a stop on the way back? I think I did, didn't I, over here? And we'll have this one stop the other side, so we'll come down this route this time, again stopping near those other tram stops. And then let's get that second one flowing in the opposite direction, so it's going to come in here. And rather than flowing that other route, we're going to send it back down this way now, so this road service here is getting serviced in both directions. I'm not going to send it out that way, I don't think. We'll come straight down this way this time. Again, so when you place anything, your routes, think about what they're going to want to come to here. So schools and the parks is what's basically attracting the Sims. And also picking them up from their homes as well, near the apartments. So it can be fairly easy to place them. They'll share this bus stop here as it comes back through into the one-way loop. And then we can name that pretty much exactly the same. But this one, this time, is B. Perfect. So let's let all of them just flow for a little bit so we can see how the buses perform against the trams. And then we'll see what happens. So the tram hub has chilled out a little bit. Although it is technically midnight at the moment, so that's probably why. I think down here, just to improve this a touch, I'm actually going to connect the networks with a pedestrian street, I think. Just going to do it there with a single pedestrian road. For some random reason, it decides to read them as one way, despite the fact it's clearly working, so I don't know why they want to complain about that. But now they can cross over the tracks because the pathway was only allowing them to walk back and between two sides rather than all sides of it. The icon's going to irritate me over time, isn't it? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. It is possible. I think I'm going to straighten this one out as well, just to refine this hub a tiny little bit. Yeah, just a little bit of that, I think, is what I'm after there. That leaves that out, and then that space there again is perfect. Cool. More little space fills to take place. Get some tiles in there, maybe. See what we can form up in this little space, right? So much fun to be had with services and transport hubs these days, isn't there? Like, really, really like that. And that will embellish with further props, of course, during our detailing time lapse. Beyond that, let's go set up some buses in Shelton, shall we? As we enjoy the crawl across the early game now, down the initial couplet we set up 8 episodes ago. This is all flowing wonderfully, isn't it? Although it isn't a rush hour at the minute, so it's probably not going to be busy anyway. But over here, I'd love to set up another little bus hub for Shelton, which can then kind of go off and out up into these suburbs. You know, we can have buses going up into them and down there and over there, potentially kind of similar to what we've just done over in Benedict, right? So we got some guys suffering land pollution here. I think you are just straight up too close to the garbage in this instance, aren't you? Yeah, the stone mining is pollutive, which is causing them issues. But again, like, do these care about this? Neutral. Sick and weak. So I guess they are suffering, but can you deal with it? Because I do like the vibe of the construction site, I'm sorry. Beyond that, we will take these guys out. So let's evict you. And then all this parking configuration can go to. We got plenty of it around here. It's not like we're losing any sort of service. And then off the main street, perhaps. We've already got some nice little designs here, haven't we? I wonder if I could feed off a bus road through here, maybe. Let's come to no guideline. And then we'll come off into some very fun little one-way road configurations around the back of this mixed genus. So again, there's not going to be a massive bus service here. We're only really after 3 or 4 of those platforms. And then with this, I want to make sure I snap onto that side of the lane. Bring it straight down. That way it'll be much more aesthetically pleasing down here at the junction, right? And then to create those bus stops, I think we're just going to do... I wouldn't mind doing some angles across it actually, almost like a bit of a weird design almost. Something a bit different at least. And then from that one, and the same thing there again. And then what I will do here is grab the bus shelters. No, I won't, because they can't sit on these roads, which is a bit annoying. I wish that would be changed. I do like the look of the shelter, but I suppose this is a good chance for us to use as assets. And we just try to use over at the tram depot, right? Or the tram stop. So very specific here with where I'm placing these stops. I want one here, one here, and one here. That way they have to enter this next segment to complete the loop around. If it's before here, then they'll take this shortcut out. Although I guess you could just add a route anyway. And now let's do a little bus route here that takes people from this council estate that we set up recently. Up to the hub, of course. It will obviously go into there. And then let's bring it through the industrial estate. Definitely a commuter bus line this, right? People working in all these factories. The power plant, for example, will have it complete a little loop around here somewhere. Where do I want to loop you? Let's go there. And then we'll use that as a turnaround point. It can then head all the way back home. Everyone can walk within these distances. And that'll be a really simple bus line. So let's use this first stop here. So let's start it from here first. It can call into the hub, of course, where one day it will meet with many other buses. And then complete the route back at the start. With these other ones here, let me add some bus stops down here near the clinic and the post office. You can find a space to turn around. I envision this will probably go on to be a bus to the next town one day, once that exists. And then I'm going to share some of these bus stops we're using over here. I'm going to start a new route from this one. Again, we'll call into the hub. We'll hit more residential in the suburbs. Again, walkable within tram distances and lots of residential. Send it up here for it to turn around. I guess it'll do it there, which seems dangerous, but that's fine. It won't be like that forever. And now we've got a little local bus route that's hitting residential, pubs, tram lines and industrial. So I imagine that's going to become quite busy one day as well. And let's give him a little name. This can be the Shelton Industrial Shuttle. And we'll make that a yellow bus to indicate such. So it's changing the bus colours as well. Let's go total black on that one. And total white on that one. The A and B lines kind of opposite colours to each other, right? There we go. Super. Wonderful. But that feels like a good place for a detour in town. That's why we let our new buses stagger out across the lines. And embed into the transport hierarchy. I absolutely love the stored vehicles as well, right? Isn't that so nice? Really fun. Great little update, that one. Yeah, but detail all the front of our depots over here. And then also the bus hub that we have now in the city. Alongside some work on the trams. Let's detail some transit stops, which sounds like an incredible amount of fun, doesn't it? And then we'll be right back. Alright guys, well that will do it for today, and let's thank you all so much for watching. Always a lot of fun playing public transport. I find it comes into play so much later in the development in CS2, you just don't really need it in that early game. Like I feel like I can bring it in at 4,000 or 5,000 population in Cities 1, but CS2 we're almost hitting 50,000 population before we even bring in trams or buses in. But it's quite nice anyway, getting kind of 27, 28, 29,000 citizens a month. Not too many tourists, but we don't have a ton of tourists drawing assets in the city at the minute, so that's to be expected. We'll include a few of those in the downtown space and planning near the waterfront. Around the hubs, it's just been a collection of the vanilla props, extending services off of nearby assets as well, just to help bring it tight all together. And we've got plenty of capacity to expand today's public transport stops as well and start sending off different vehicles in different directions as new towns and developments become available in these areas. Thoroughly enjoying vanilla CS2 at the minute. It's proving to be quite an enjoyable city painting experience. Just so many more options than is available with CS1 vanilla. But I hope you are enjoying it as well. Indeed, thank you for all the continued support. Links down to Instant Gaming and Patreon below are there if you're interested. Either way, an enormous shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that support these videos, with a royal call to the fantastic, amazing Golden Egg patrons: Bad Wolf, Blythe, Casino, Darius, Lara Roberts, Louis Adlam, Michael W, Phoenix MD, Spartan Angel, and Wesley Kip. Thank you so much indeed for all of your incredible support. Links down to Patreon, Instant Gaming, best ways to support the channel if you want. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. Please do enjoy the cinematics, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.